Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another interview. Today's guest is a West End star. They've appeared in many things including Les Mis, and they've also recently appeared on BBC One's The Greatest Show. So today Kerry Ellis will be joining me and she's going to tell us more about her acting career and maybe some stories too. So please welcome Kerry.
Hello, I'm Kerry Ellis.
Thank you so much for coming, Kerry. So today I'm obviously interviewing you and I've got 10 questions based on your acting career. So my first question for you is, when did you first get into acting and singing?
Well, I mean, professionally, I guess it was after college. I did a tour called Magic of the Musicals, and I went on a cruise ship called The Voyage of the Seas, which was with Royal Caribbean, and then I went into My Fair Lady in the West End. So relatively quickly, I mean, prior to that, I'd done drama school, and prior to that, I'd done been part of a local dance school, and that was it really. That was my start into the world of show.
What was your first audition you did?
Oh my God, I can't remember. I mean, I remember at school auditioning for things like the National Youth Theatre, and I auditioned for The Wizard of Oz at the Wolsey Theatre when I was about 10. So I was doing little auditions when I was younger. But as regards to professional ones, I think I couldn't tell you. They're probably through college for pantomimes, those kind of things. I don't know what the first one was. I think they happen so quick. You just get very used to auditioning very quickly. So it becomes part of your, but what you do. So yeah, I don't really remember.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And yeah, it's great of all the auditions you do. And I think every time you audition, it's just such a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think auditions have changed for me over the years. I try to find now a bit of enjoyment in them because we spend a lot of time auditioning. So for us to spend our lives stressing about auditions, it's not really helpful. It doesn't help us. It doesn't serve you as a performer. So the more you can kind of try and relax and enjoy them, the better, which I definitely didn't do. It's hard to do that because you get nervous and you get very self-critical, and they're strange environments. But like I said, if you can find that joy, it does help.
Yeah, 100%. And my next question is actually about something you've done very recently, and it is, recently you sang on BBC One's The Greatest Show. What was it like performing in lockdown?
Oh, it was a real gift. It really was. I mean, to be back on a stage, to be in the Palladium with an orchestra, doing what I do, I haven't been doing my job for so long. Yes, I've been podcasting and writing books and teaching online, but I haven't been performing, which is a huge part of my life. So to get the opportunity to do that was amazing. Yes, sadly, we didn't have the audience there on the night, but we did then have the nation watching on telly, which was amazing. And the response we got was great. My heart did go out to the people in our industry, because, I felt for all of those people that are finding it tough at the moment, that have had our industry shut down, so my heart went out to them a lot. But I loved being on the stage. I loved being back there. It was great.
Yeah, it does sound great. And obviously you've been off the stage for, it feels like just such a long time, nearly a year now since lockdown started. So it must have just felt, like you said, so amazing to just be out there again.
Yeah, and to such a high standard quality show was really important. I mean, I've done various bits over lockdown. In the summer, I did Voices of the West End, like an outdoor socially distanced concert. I did a couple of live streams. I did the Crazy Cocks, and I went to Dubai at Christmas to do a Christmas show. So I was actually quite fortunate to get a few performances in as and when we were, the lockdown was released, or relaxed, should I say. But yeah, I know some people literally haven't set foot on a stage in a year, and that's just so sad. It's really, really heartbreaking. And I just hope that we are coming out of it now, and that we have a way forward, and that producers find their confidence to start putting shows back on.
Fingers crossed everybody can get back to normal, and it's just going to be really nice to just go to a theatre anywhere and just watch a performance.
I know, isn't it? It's been so long since anybody's done anything live, and I think we are missing it. And I think that's why the BBC thing got such a great response, because people haven't seen anything live for so long that that was a glimpse of what we're missing or what we're ready to see. We're ready to have our musicals back on the stages, and we're ready to go and watch people perform and be in that live environment.
Yeah, 100%. So my next question is, you have to say a big shout out to my theatre group Castaways, especially Kirsty, Tammy and Lynn for giving me these questions here. Thank you so much, guys.
Yay! Hi guys, thanks for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the show already.
Yeah, I hope you're all enjoying the interview. So my next question is from Kirsty, and it is, do you have any advice to people who want to get into acting?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots. I mean, this is a very unusual situation and not one that I've experienced before in my life. And I think my biggest advice or tip at the moment would be get everything that you can now. Lots of people like myself and are teaching, are doing workshops, are going online because we can't go out, we can't work. So there's a lot of people giving a lot of special experiences at the moment, and I think it's a good time to capitalize on that. Find somebody that you like, see if they're doing something, and if they're not, message them, say, hey, how about giving me a chat for a half hour or whatever, because they will be more open than you think they will, because people are at home and they want to share their advice. So, and the reason I say that is because I think at the moment we should keep training, even though we're in lockdown. Get online, keep training your voice, keep training your dancing. Dance around your living room, get some singing lessons, because it's all available online. And if we don't do it now, when the doors do open and we do get back in our studios and we do go back on stages, we want to be ready, and we need to be ready, because the producers aren't going to then wait for you to get ready and train.
That's some great advice, and I think lots of people can definitely take something from that, and I 100% agree. Even though we're in lockdown and we can't actually be in a rehearsal somewhere else, it's always good to watch videos, and there's plenty on YouTube even to go and check out, and then all the online classes are great to do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, even if they're not, maybe message people that you like and you or inspire you, and ask them, because I'm sure they would get online and do a class with you.
So my next question is, you've been in Wicked the Musical in London and on Broadway. Can you tell me what that was like?
I mean, amazing. It was really life-changing moments, those both sides of the pond. Performing that show in the West End was life-changing. I've sung that song all over the world now, and it's amazing how it's been received and how suddenly people know that I was that Green Witch. And taking that show to Broadway and being the first British girl to play it on Broadway was pretty special too. So it was an amazing show that I'm grateful that I was part of. I'm grateful that I still get to sing those songs, and it's just I can't wait to see it open again.
I'm looking forward to hopefully coming and watching Wicked. It'll be fantastic to come and see it. So yeah, fingers crossed it can open soon, hopefully. So my next question is, as well as performing, you also run your own podcast called Keep Calm and Carry On. Can you explain what that's all about?
Yeah, so this was born in the first lockdown. I'd done a few podcasts before. I did Acting Up with Jamie Crick, which was an amazing experience. We would be in a studio with 4 people, and we would have special guests, and it seems a bit crazy now, but I always thought I'd like to do this on my own. I've kind of done a bit of radio, and I enjoy that kind of chat. I love I also love listening to podcasts. During the lockdown I got on my bike a lot, and I was listening to Happy Place, Fern Cotton's Happy Place, and I was like, I love this. I love being part of somebody's chat and conversation, and it feels very kind of free and very uncensored. So I thought I could do this in lockdown, and it will give me a purpose. It will give me a way to be creative and to reach out to other performers and see what they're going through in lockdown, but also talk about the positive side of it and their highlights and their career and fun stuff, to inspire people. And that's where it was born, really. And we got through the first lockdown, the summer, and season 1 and season 2 happened, and now we've just recorded season 3 with a sponsor, which is really exciting, Act London, and I'm bowled over really by the response of it and the fact that we're still going. I thought it would be a 1-season thing, and it's been a real lifeline for me to have my creative outlet and to be able to to have that to concentrate on. Yes, I've got homeschooling and I've got a family, and I've trying to teach online, and I've written a book, but to have that active has been really important.
100%. And I think a podcast is definitely a really fun thing to do in lockdown, because I feel like it's great to find out how other people are doing. Like, it's even if it's just like a friendly chat, it's just kind of nice to listen to other people, and it's kind of like a little day out, to be honest, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's nice to catch up with people as well. You know, I spoke to Sharon D. Clark the other day, and that was amazing to catch up. No, I do love it. I love podcasts. I'm a big fan. I listen to them, and to have my own is joyous.
Yeah, 100%. So my next question is, have you had to overcome any hurdles in your career?
Oh, loads. How long you got? I mean, yes, lots. I think each job has its own challenges and has its own hurdles. So each job for me is a new entity, and I have to navigate around it. So lots of challenges. You know, there's the biggest one, I guess, is being resilient and being told no a lot, and how you deal with that and how you recover from that. But I think I've got used to it, you know. It's part of our industry. It's part of what we have to endure, and I'm okay with it. I'm all right. You know, yes, if you're up for something and you really want it and you don't get it, of course you're a bit like, but you got to move on. You can't spend time dwelling, because it just doesn't serve you. It doesn't help you. So I think the quicker that you can kind of get over that and learn to be resilient and learn that it's not personal, the better your career will be, and the more longevity you'll have, and the more, you know, the tougher you'll become, and the easier the ride will be.
Yeah, that's I think it's great, because you shared obviously some advice within that as well, so I think that's really good. And yeah, I think it is important. I've been speaking to other actors and people as well, and they've been saying like it might not necessarily be your talent, which is why you don't get it. It might be like random things, and they were saying like obviously you don't get feedback from some auditions, and it's just you have to look towards the future and focus on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these next few questions are from Tammy and Lynn, and my next one is, did you do any shows when you were at school?
Yes, I did. I did lots of shows. I mean, right back from like nativity times, you know, I was always doing the nativity or the whatever the school play was, whatever the school show was, I was in it. We did Bugsy Malone, we did The Greatest Show, we did what else? The Match Girls, we did what did I do in the high school? I can't remember, but yeah, whatever was going, I was in it. I loved, you know, any chance to perform, I did it. You know, I was doing local pantomimes at the village hall. I was then doing, I went a bit further afield and did, like I said, the Wizard of Oz at the Wolsey Theatre, which was like the biggest town near us, and I went to do that. And so yeah, anything I could get my hands on, I did. And then I got to do the National Youth Music Theatre. I got to be in Aesop when I was about 12, which was a big thing really, because it felt very professional, and we went away to do it, and it felt a big moment. So I'm grateful to that.
Yeah, and it sounds fantastic, obviously, with all those shows you did at school and stuff. And I can remember the Nativities were always so fun to do over Christmas. They were funny, but they were super fun to be part of.
Yeah, it's great. It's also really good, I think, Nativities and school shows, I think, are really good for everybody to do, for more than just, you know, even if you don't want to go into the business, it's an amazing way to teach someone how to communicate, to stand up in front of people and speak, and to work with their peers about when to speak, and to be mindful of each other. It's really important.
And it is really important. So my next question is, what was your first principal role?
Well, I guess My Fair Lady, I was understudy, so I did get to go on as a principal, but I was the understudy. So it would have been We Will Rock You, where I created the role of Meatloaf, and yeah, that was the first time I had my own role.
Oh, fantastic. So my next question is, what has been the best moment in your career, if you can choose, because that is a very hard question.
Yeah, there's been so many. I mean, they can come in different ways as well, you know, like, so there's an amazing big moment, like when I was in Verona with Brian, and we had a huge orchestra of 100-piece and big, you know, choirs and bands, and the place was huge. It was like the Colosseum in Rome, and it was live on television. You know, those moments are incredible, and that was a real highlight. If you watch it on YouTube, it's incredible. You know, it really makes me want to pinch myself, that one. But then there's smaller moments that are really significant. Like, if you get a letter of somebody saying, I really loved your show, it changed the way I now feel confident about myself, or whatever it is, that they can be hugely important. Knowing how, if you've had an effect on somebody, is massive. And like through lockdown, when I sent out my recent album, Feels Like Home, I had this new album that I was due to tour with, and I didn't put it on iTunes, I didn't put it on Spotify, I just wanted it as a hard copy. And obviously then lockdown happened and I didn't have the opportunity to go touring, so I put it on my website and sold them from my website. And it was amazing, the response, because I was sending them out myself and packaging them and putting them in envelopes, writing out the addresses. The response from people was unbelievable, and that touched me so much. It was huge. I would get people posting their pictures on Instagram and stuff, and when they received the album, and that was massive, because suddenly I was taking control over something that usually is done by a big company. And that was really important, to have that connection with people and fans and have that interaction was really special.
Yeah, it does sound really special, and I see on your Instagram thing when you're doing all of the signings of your albums, and it's really great.
I can't believe they're still going out. I started sending them out like over a year ago, and I'm still sending them out, and it really does bowl me over. I still get these little pings through saying, "Oh, somebody wants an album," and that's amazing. For a year on to still be sending them out is just amazing. And I've got one box left. And that's it. Once that goes, I'm not going to print anymore. And that's, hopefully it'll be a moment in time that's been unique. And those people that have them are going to be, unique.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is amazing. Like, a year on, it's incredible that you're still selling them, and it's fantastic. So my next question for you is, what would your dream role be?
Oh, there's lots. I mean, I'd love to play things like Gypsy and Norma Desmond and The Baker's Wife, Sweeney Todd. I'd love to be in Evita. I mean, I love doing new things as well, things where you can create for yourself and you can have a real stamp on that character and an influence. I think that's really exciting too. So, but there's loads, there's loads that I haven't done, and something like Dear Evan Hansen, maybe something like that.
Yeah, those are all great musicals, and yeah, maybe we'll see you in them.
Maybe you will.
So my next question is, what is your favourite musical?
Ooh, that's hard. I think the last musical I saw that had a big impact on me was, I got to see Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway with Ben Platt, and it was a last minute thing. I was literally flying home that evening and I got a last minute matinee performance, and I was blown away. I was sat on a little balcony seat on my own, and I was just so moved by it. And the whole cast were phenomenal. But it was just, it just had an effect on me. And I think that was why I loved it so much. And there's not been anything on since, but nothing's really had the same effect on me since that show. So probably that for now.
Yeah, well, I've heard amazing things about that show, and I know obviously all the storylines definitely do touch people, so yeah, that does sound like a fantastic musical. So I have a couple more questions for you, and my next one is, who do you admire the most?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I mean, I admire my family a lot through lockdown. I mean, how resilient my kids have been, and my husband, and how we've survived as a unit has been so inspiring. It's tough, especially when you're both really busy, to suddenly be locked down in this situation. You kind of, survive or you thrive. And we have really thrived. And that's been really inspirational. And I guess career-wise, I grew up watching Liza Minnelli. She always inspired me. I've got a big picture of her in my office. And that gives me inspiration. When I'm having a day of thinking, oh God, we're still in lockdown, and am I ever going to get back on the stage? And, is this it? Are we not going to do this anymore? And then I look up at her and think, but it's more than that. This industry is bigger than that. It's not just when's your next show coming. It's about communicating and how you communicate in different ways. It doesn't have to be just waiting for the next show to come. It can it's bigger than that. So yeah, probably them.
Yeah, they sound like some amazing people to look up to, and obviously with your family and everything, it's great that, because I think it's great when you make the most of lockdown, and it sounds like you really have, so it's fantastic.
Tried to. I mean, I'll be glad when it's finished, but I've tried to.
Yeah, amazing. So my next question for you is actually about lockdown, and it is, what has inspired you to keep singing during lockdown?
I mean, I've been actually really fortunate to have lots of little projects going on. So silly things like, well, I say silly things. There's been lots of charity events. You know, people call you and say, "Will you do this? Will you do that?" Which has been amazing. So those kind of things are great because they do make me sit down and, you know, record. Or I did a couple of live streams initially. I haven't done many of them since, but I did a few of those. We did a Christmas single with Brian, which was great, and I've just done a couple of things with like collaborations with people, and like I did one with a vocal group more recently that's going to come out soon, and a college I'm about to do one with, and Brian and I are working on one. So, you know, there's ways to keep going without kind of having to just stand and sing in your kitchen.
It's great that you've had all of these opportunities even through lockdown, and yeah, it sounds like there's going to be some exciting stuff coming soon then.
Yeah, well, you know, trying to make the most of what we can use at the moment. I mean, as soon as things open up, I'm sure I'll be out there touring again and back on doing concerts and stuff. But at the moment, finding ways to be creative is what keeps me singing and what keeps me at it and keeps me inspired. And I'm happiest when I'm singing. So I'm more than happy to, you know, collaborate and open for people to send me stuff. And that's what's been exciting.
Yeah, it definitely does sound exciting. So I have one more question for you. This is always kind of my favourite question just to wrap everything up, and it is, do you have any acting stories?
Oh my gosh. Lots, I guess. Stories. I mean, I always like things when things go a bit wrong, you know, on stage. Like this will sound so ridiculous, but when I was doing Wicked, Diane Pilkington and I were coming into the scene. There's it's called Munchkinland, this scene, and there were just some flowers on the stage that shouldn't have been on the stage, and we found that hysterical. And not because there were flowers on the stage, but just because they weren't meant to be there. And obviously the two of us could see them, and we both looked at them and made a face at each other, and that was it. We were gone. We had to just hold it together throughout the rest of the scene. And it was the funniest thing that I just remember it making me just uncontrollably laugh, but trying to hold it in. And I think that was why it was so funny, because we're meant to be really cross at each other. So then finding this, you know, these little silly flowers on the stage in the wrong place made us just giggle. So yeah, I like things like that, you know, that are just ridiculous little things. And you go, what, you know, what we do for a living is madness. It's madness.
Yeah, I love that story. I love funny stories, especially like ones like that, because I mean they just make you smile. So I love stories like that.
Yeah, it's good. We're very fortunate to do this amazing business. You know, we are. It's wonderful. We tell stories. We work with amazing people, and it's a great life to live.
Yeah, 100%, and it does sound like just such a wonderful thing to do. And hopefully, like we were saying earlier, hopefully very soon we'll all be back on stage. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
So we have come to the end of the interview now, and it's been great finding out more about your career and more about yourself. So thank you so much for coming on the show, Kerry.
Thanks so much for having me. It's lovely.
You're most welcome, and also thank you to everybody who watched this interview. I hope you all loved it, and I'll see you next week for another interview. Bye, guys.